Hi guys, and welcome to another KamicarzCreations video. I always forget to say it, never have done it, but if you like this content, hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. Heaps be going on soon, a lot more time coming up my sleeve, and going to be pumping out a few videos. The process of putting the old UC back together. Last video I showed you taking the front end out of the old girl. Here she is on the floor, and just going to start disassembling the front end, getting the engine out, and I'm going to rebuild this engine. I was down having a look at my new engine today, getting much closer. It'll happen eventually, but I'm going to strip all this apart. There's some parts in this front end that I need. I've got the Billies, Bilstein shocks in there, and the King springs, which I have shortened, and I want to use those same springs. So I'm going to pull a heap of the parts out of this front end and put it into my new front end, which I've got to reassemble, ready for the new motor. So I'll walk you through the process. I'm just about to drop the gearbox off this and then rip the engine out, and I bought a new engine stand today just so I can mount this engine up and start working on it. So that's the process. Remember, hit that like and subscribe, it'd be great. Helps the channel out, helps it grow a little bit, and I'd appreciate it. So I'll show you what I'm doing. So here it all is, dragged it out under the car, and that trolley setup worked a dream for me. That's a hydraulic lift for a motorbike stand, and worked really well dropping the engine down on that and dragging it out. I didn't have the trolley jack under it, it just sits nicely without the trolley jack. But I'm just starting to disassemble the bolts out of the gearbox and the starter motor to lift that gearbox off, and then I'm going to lift the engine out of the subframe and mount it up onto an engine stand. So the gearbox is off, she's sitting over here, and there's that awesome Malwood throw-up bearing. I've seen a few people lately asking questions about the Dello clutch setup, and I have made a suggestion a few times, and a few other people had, of using this Malwood setup. Absolutely brilliant, feels like a modern clutch, fits in really well and just works. And the other thing is it's a tiny little nice looking master cylinder in the engine bay, where the Dello one never worked for me. Where it bolts to the firewall, it usually sits on an angle to get the push rod to work, and it just looks ugly in my opinion. This Malwood one is absolutely beautiful. So I've just undone the engine mounts and just about to lift the engine up out of the subframe, and then I might get my new engine stand out of the car and assemble it so I can eventually whack the engine on it. So slowly breaking it down, I've got the cross member by itself now. Engine, I've just got to take the clutch and pressure plate off there. Gearbox sitting over here, and I've got my new engine stand built, but I just need to get 4 bolts long enough. The gearbox mounting bolts aren't quite long enough, and once I get them tomorrow, I'll drop the clutch and pressure plate off and mount her all up and start to pull the engine apart. So this engine is the one that had the worn lifter in it. So I expect that the cam is going to be knackered as well. Other than that, I just want to pull it apart, clean it up, have a look at the crank journals, because there's a fair bit of iron filings, even though it's very fine, would have gone right through the oil. And hopefully it's just replacing the cam and lifters. And I've got a pretty lumpy cam over there and a new set of lifters, and it won't take much to pull this apart and put it back together. The only thing I haven't really got is a decent head, because I want to use the Yellow Terror head that I've got on the and put it back on the new 202 motor. So anyway, that's where I'm at this stage. I'll get this clutch off and get the engine mounted up. Finally got this engine up off the ground and mounted on the new engine stand, and ready to start stripping it down and having a bit of a look inside it. I'm going to be really interested to have a look at that cam, considering what happened to the lifter. And as I said, I've got another cam. I've got that many spare parts. I've got another cam, another set of lifters, which is a fairly lumpy style cam that I'm going to put back into this engine and try to get it cleaned up and ready to go again. It's a really good bottom end. Really just want to check those crank journals is the big thing. Put some new bearings in it and get it ready to go, possibly back in this UC. I'm toying with the idea now of letting the UC go, having retired recently, trying to rationalise a bit of stuff. And the big thing is that girl down the back, the old LH 75 LH, I really want to get built up, and considering the new motor I'm building may go into that, because that's an original GPack sitting down the back, and it might give me a bit of space in the shed and the funds to start funding that car. I was talking to Shane Chassis the other day about it, because I want to put some big wheels under the back of it and I don't want to flare it. I'm going to do it as a GPack, with a few little creative changes. But basically you're going to know it's a GPack. It's going to be red with a black stripe. The GPack will be in black, and the whole theme of the car is going to be red and black. So also got to start pulling this front end apart, because I want those Bilsteins out of there. When I did this front end in the car, the only thing I didn't do was the upper control arms, because they're quite difficult to do when it's in the car. It is achievable. So I'm going to pull this apart. Going to use all the original parts, the brakes, the springs, the Bilstein shocks, and that's about it off there. And I've just started to set up the new front end on a table over here. Just testing out the new tough mounts, because this front end will go into the UC before I even think about selling it. Get it in, get it running, and maybe get it on the market. They're definitely going up in price, and that hopefully will give me some funds to start looking at that LH. So that's the go at this stage, fellas. I'll start to pull a few things apart and have a look inside her. Well, I've got this engine mostly stripped down. The crank's still got to come out and check those mains, which I will replace anyway. The cam journals look quite good, and from what I can see in there, the bearings look really good. But as you can see, this is the journal that, or this is the cam load that had the worn lifter, and it's basically rounded off. You have a look at the profile of, trying to get it in focus, but the profile of that cam load there to the one next to it, nothing left on it, which I suspected. And I think that'll be the major issue with the engine at this stage, so I have no problem with putting this back together with a few new parts, new gasket kit. I'll check out the I'll take the crank out and check everything out there, but I think she should be pretty good to go back together and build a nice little 173 to maybe slip back in the stock car. So guys, that's where we're at for this one. That was my goal, to get everything broken apart and get that engine pulled out and have a look inside it. I'll start to clean things up and look at some new parts and get this bottom end put back together. And the next mission is start to work on that front end and getting it, the old one pulled apart, get the parts out I need, and start assembling the new one. So anyway guys, thanks for watching, and I'll be pumping a few out as I said, so hit that like for this video and subscribe and keep up to date with where I go.